Hello, welcome to Dave's Woodworking Shop. We're going to try to make this short and sweet, to the point. I'm going to show you how I made my articulated arm. Not this one. I don't know how to make that one. But I did make one that will hold the hose to my drill press. Right over there. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to try to get through this as quick as possible. I got notes here, so hopefully you can be able to follow along. And we're going to start out with the D-ring here. And it's 4 1/4 by 2 1/8 by 1 inch thick. And then I cut that out. And then I went to, we're going to call this the Stargate. Yeah, I was a Stargate fan, so it kind of looks like the Stargate. So we're going to call that the Stargate in order to make the Stargate. It's 2 1/4 inches on the inside here. Actually, it's 2 1/2, excuse me. And this ring is 3/4 of an inch thick. This piece down here is 4 1/4 by 1 inch thick. So it's 4 1/4 by 1 inch thick. And then I took and glued and screwed them together. See? And then on the inside here, right on this piece, right there, that's where the bolt goes through. And what I did is I put my bolt in and I drew around the hex head, and then I took and chiseled it out so that the bolt will sit almost flush, but it sits a little bit out, but that's fine with me, as long as it gives me enough clearance for the hose to come through, and which it does. Okay, there's that piece. The next piece, see, that was, okay, is the eye. We're going to call this the eye. Looks like an eye. Alright, it's 6 inches long, 2 inches wide at its widest, and then I took and I shaved off 1/4 of an inch from either side. So that brings it down to 1.5 inches on this piece, 2 inches here, and then 6 inches long. And then I drilled a, I forgot to, oh well, but that's where that hole goes. But anywho, this hole is an important hole. It's 3/4 of an inch down and 1/2 inch. It runs center on the eye. This one here, let's see real quick. Should be, yeah, 1 inch down. That's what I thought. 1 inch down, 1 inch in, and then that way it's in the center. And you make 2 of those. Alright, there's the D, the Stargate, the eye, the swing arm. Okay, this is the swing arm. It's basically a 1 inch by 1 inch piece of wood. It's 1 inch square. And then it's 6 inches long. And then I measured 1 inch down from either end and put in the bolts. And again, I chiseled out the hex head. And then that way, the other reason why I did this is that way when you go to tighten down the knobs, the bolt won't spin on you. I was having that a little bit of a problem in my testing. I said, oh, I gotta chisel out those hex heads. Alright. And the size of that hole is a 5/16 because of the bolt that I'm using. And now we're going to get to what I'm calling the light switch. Kind of looks like a light switch. Alright, the light switch. It's 2 3/8 by, 2 3/8, 2 1/2. Okay? And then the hole position is 1 3/16 and a 7/8. Base plate is 3 3/8 and 6 1/2 inch. And then I glued and screwed The screws that I used were drywall screws with a star pattern on the head, inside the head there. Countersunk them, and so that way it's not coming apart, hopefully. And then I position these 1 inch in and 3/4 of an inch in, and then that way this will get mounted right to the wall, because it's going to go right over there behind my drill press. It's going to get screwed right to the wall. And now we will go through and I will put it all together so you can see what it looks like. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed something. Let's put that down. Okay, next piece of paper. Get rid of that one. The knobs, in order to tighten down. I used, the bolts that I used are 3 inches long and they're 1/4 18 thread. I used a 2 1/4 inch hole saw, and then I used a 7/8 Forstner bit in order to fit the T-nuts inside, like so. You can see the T-nuts. And I drilled those. I drilled the Forstner bit 1/8 of an inch deep, and then drilled a 25/64 hole in the center to allow the bolt to come through, and also for the center shank of the T-nut. This way, and then when you go to put it in, you can put it in with a vise, and then in order to countersink it, I used a socket and put it right back in the vise and finished pushing it all the way in. Now, this is a great example on why I make an extra one, because it's a little hard to see, but yep, it's got a crack. I cracked it right there. Yep, you can see it. So that's why I always make an extra one. I will later dig that T-nut out and use it somewhere else, and I do have an extra bolt, so it never hurts to make an extra. Okay, now we got that part. Now, okay, now we'll put it together. All right, so I went and got some washers. You need 4 of them, along with 4 knobs. You know, I could have went through and cut handles or little things in order to grip it better, but that's good enough for me. It'll work. Swing arm. Oops, wrong way. I was doing it from the bottom. The reason why I did this from the bottom, so I can get at the nut easier, or get at the handle easier. Get in there. There we go. Washer. Oops. I don't know if you could hear that, but that was my stomach that growled. And then this. Alright, and there we go. This way it can be mounted to the wall. And I can loosen this one, and it'll raise and lower it. I can loosen these two, swing it this way, forward and backwards, and then loosen this one up on this side, and it'll tilt that way. Alright, well, that's my articulated arm. That's what I'm calling it. I don't know what the official name is, but that's what it looks like. That's how it works. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget your eyes, your ears, and your lungs, and I'm now using my RZ mask like crazy. I absolutely love it. If you ain't got one, go over to rzmask.com, grab yourself one. You won't be sorry. I know I'm not. And so, until next time, keep making sawdust.